Have you ever wondered what it truly means to be called by God, or what it means to be among the chosen? These two terms are often used interchangeably, but in the Bible, they hold distinct and profound meanings that can shape how we view our faith, our purpose, and our relationship with God. Today, we're diving deep into these concepts, exploring their differences, and uncovering the spiritual truths they reveal. This isn't just a lesson. It's a journey into the heart of God's Word, which could redefine how you see yourself in your walk with Christ. Let's start with a foundational verse that captures the essence of our topic. Matthew 22, verse 14. This powerful statement comes from Jesus' parable of the wedding feast, a story that speaks directly to God's invitation to humanity and the distinction between those who respond and those who are set apart for a divine purpose. It challenges us to reflect deeply. Have I only been called, or have I been chosen? What does it take to be among the few? Being called reflects God's generous invitation to all people. It's His open arms, welcoming everyone without exception. Think of Isaiah 55, verse 1. Come, everyone who thirsts, come to the waters. God's call is a gift, an offer of grace extended to all humanity. There's no requirement for wealth, status, or perfection. But being chosen is not about simply receiving the invitation. It's about being set apart by God for a divine purpose. Ephesians 1 verses 4-5 reminds us of God's intentional choice, rooted in His eternal plan. It's about living out that specific plan for your life, bearing fruit, and fulfilling the purpose He has set for you. John 15 verse 16. Think of the parable of the talents. All are called to steward their gifts, but only those who use them faithfully are rewarded. The concepts of being called and chosen exist in the balance between free will and God's divine selection. Joshua 24 verse 15 shows us God giving people the ability to make choices. At the same time, Romans 8 verse 30 reveals that being chosen is part of God's divine plan. It's not based on our merit, but on His will. It's a beautiful mystery. God initiates the call, but we must choose to respond. Revelation 3 verse 20, empowered by His grace. Ephesians 2 verses 8-9. Being called can be an invitation to serve. Ephesians 4 verse 1. While being chosen is about a deeper relationship that leads to salvation. Romans 8 verses 29-30. It's possible to be called to serve and still miss out on being chosen. Matthew 7 verses 21-23. God desires more than our work. He desires our hearts. Being chosen for salvation means entering into a covenant relationship with Him. 1 Peter 2 verse 9. Being called is God's invitation to belong to His family. 1 Peter 5 verse 10. While being chosen is being set apart for His holy purposes. 1 Peter 2 verse 9. Being chosen means being prepared to fulfill God's will. 2 Timothy 2 verse 21. Living in a way that reflects His holiness and love. Grace is vital in being chosen. Ephesians 2 verses 8-9. It's God's unmerited favor that sets us apart. It's not about what we deserve, but about God's decision to extend His grace to us. Romans 9 verses 15-16. Grace also empowers us to fulfill the calling of being chosen. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. Being chosen has eternal implications. It's about a relationship with God that lasts forever. John 3 verse 16. It means being written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Revelation 17 verse 14. And receiving an eternal inheritance. 1 Peter 1 verses 3-4. This eternal perspective should influence how we live today. Colossians 3 verses 1-2. Called people can miss the mark. Matthew 7 verses 21-23. But chosen people fulfill God's purpose because they remain faithful. John 15 verse 16. It's about perseverance. Hebrews 10 verse 36, and enduring trials, James 1 verse 12. Examples like Saul and Paul illustrate this point. Being chosen means remaining faithful to the end, Revelation 3 verse 5. God's call on your life is not random. He's calling you to something greater. But being chosen requires a response. It's about stepping out in faith, living in obedience, and trusting God. Don't let this moment pass by. Let God's voice stir your heart. If this message has touched your heart, I encourage you to take a step today. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're new here, subscribe to this channel for more inspiring content like this. By subscribing, you're joining a community of believers committed to growing in faith and understanding. Thank you for joining me. Keep seeking Him, keep trusting Him, and keep walking in the truth of who He has called and chosen you to be.